Wednesday, March 19th. Hitler issues an ultimatum giving Yugoslavia 5 days to accept or reject the demands made during his meeting with Prince Paul. Rommel returns to Berlin from North Africa. He meets Walter von Brauchitsch to discuss his plans for the region. Von Brauchitsch tells him that he can only count on the 15th Panzer and the 5th Light Divisions to carry out operations designed to obstruct the enemy. London suffers one of its heaviest nighttime bombings since the start of the war. The important industrial and port city of Hull is attacked for several hours. RAF aircraft focused their attacks on the German shipyards of Kiel and the port of Wilhelmshaven, as well as the oil storage depot of Rotterdam in Holland. In Albania, the Italian troops persevere in their attempt to recover lost ground, but the Greeks hold them back in the Vojsa Valley. In Cyprus, the British Foreign Secretary Anthony Eden meets with his Turkish counterpart, Şükrü Saraçoğlu, to strengthen bilateral relations. In the Sea War, several squadrons of German planes attack an Allied convoy of 35 ships off the western coast of Ireland, sinking 2 of them. Thursday, March 20th. From the Vatican, Pope Pius XII calls for a secure and lasting peace and freedom for all the world's peoples. In the United States, Under-Secretary of State Sumner Welles warns the Russian ambassador in Washington, Konstantin Umansky, of various reports that the Third Reich is preparing to invade the Soviet Union. Many in the Russian General Staff are convinced that the invasion will take place on the 20th of May. However, Philip Golikov, Timoshenko's deputy and chief of military intelligence, who has rejected as false the information provided by the Soviet agent Richard Sorb, reiterates his theory that the warnings are nothing but a smokescreen to conceal the plans of the Americans and British. In the Far East, Japanese troops break through the defensive lines of Chiang Kai-shek's army on the river Huangpu and advance towards the west. The Australian government tries to reach a peace agreement with Japan, strengthening trade links with the objective of avoiding a war in the Pacific. Friday, March 21st. In Berlin, Hitler meets the anti-communist and anti-Semite foreign minister of Hungary, Laszlo Bardasi de Bardos, whom he informs of his intentions regarding Yugoslavia. However, the Nazi leader does not mention his plan to invade the Soviet Union. Rommel ends his visit to Berlin, where he receives specific instructions from the OKH, the Army High Command, about what he is to do in Africa. He is charged with the defense of the area of Tripoli in Libya under Italian command. German aircraft once again attacked the cities of London, Plymouth, and Clacton. The British focused their bombing raids on the submarine bases of Lorient in France. The British Admiralty announces the loss of the gunboats Cariado and Gulfos. In North Africa, General Garibaldi is officially named governor of Libya and commander of the Italian troops in the region. Meanwhile, British troops attack the oasis of Gharibab in the middle of the Libyan desert, and Italian planes bomb Benghazi. In East Africa, Allied troops heading towards the border of Abyssinia, Ethiopia, take Hargeisa, 90 kilometers south of Berbera in British Somalia, which was under Italian control. Saturday, March 22nd. In the Sea War, German U-boats sink 11 ships in an Allied convoy off the west coast of Africa. For his part, Admiral Gunther Lütjens, chief of the surface fleet of the Kriegsmarine, announces that during Operation Berlin, 22 merchant ships from different countries have been sunk. RAF bombers carry out a fierce attack against the German submarine bases in Lorient, France. In the Mediterranean, intense airfights take place between German Messerschmitt 109s and British Hurricanes over the island of Malta. The island of Corfu, in the Ionian Sea off the coast of northwest Epirus, in Greece, is bombed by the Italian planes. The Turkish government begins negotiations with the Soviet Union to sign a non-aggression pact. Nagai Kita, a secret Japanese agent in Hawaii, starts to send information to his superiors in Japan about the movements of the American fleet in Pearl Harbor. The American Secret Services are aware of what is going on, but do not see anything unusual or alarming about this. Sunday, March 23rd. In Bulgaria, the arrival of German troops continues. The British government advises the Americans to impose some censorship on the press, as happens in Britain, in order to avoid giving too much exposure to certain enemy actions. RAF planes attack Berlin with incendiary bombs, with Kiel, Hanover, and the naval base of Den Helder in the Netherlands also being targeted. In the United States, the House of Representatives passes and sends to Senate a bill authorizing an immediate increase in Navy personnel up to 232,000 men. Rommel returns to North Africa, where he is informed that reconnaissance patrols have found out that El Aguilia is poorly protected by the enemy. He orders his forces to prepare to launch the first offensive. In the Sea War, U-551, commanded by Karl Schrodt, which is heading towards the North Atlantic, is attacked and sunk by the armed fishing boat HMS Vicenda to the southeast of Vik, Iceland. There are no survivors among the crew. At the same time, U-110, captained by Fritz Julius Lem, sinks the merchant ship Saarmal and U-97, commanded by Udo Halman, sinks the Chama. Monday, March 24th. Berlin is hit once again by RF planes which drop thousands of incendiary bombs. The Yugoslav government is ready to join the Tripartite Pact. Prime Minister Dragiša Cvetković and Foreign Minister Sinkar Marković set off for Vienna. In London, Churchill announces that if Yugoslavia follows the same path as Romania and Bulgaria, it will be declared an enemy of Britain.
Which it was said existed in the country.
In Moscow, Stalin and Molotov meet Yosuke Matsuoka, the Japanese foreign minister, to discuss the possibility of signing a non-aggression pact. The Soviet government is also interested in an agreement with Turkey. In North Africa, after carrying out reconnaissance, Rommel decides to strike the British in Libya, and in a lightning attack, the Afrika Korps take the town of El Algilia. Rommel informs General Garibaldi of his plans to recover lost ground. The Panzer Division will cross the desert towards Tobruk, while the Italians will march along the coast.